Okay, perfect. I'll say welcome to Tech Talks Fireside Chat. This is a forum where we discuss all things tech and all things cybersecurity. No question is too stupid to ask. It's really about empowerment and information sharing. Today we have Bob Mwiti with us of the Kenya Airlift program. We're going to do a two-part. One, who is Bob Mwiti? Let's just start by that. And then two, what is the Kenya Airlift program and what does it entail? So over to you, Bob. Please tell us more.
All right, Jackie, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you guys. I take it very, very seriously. I know we've been having a lot of conversations in our platform on WhatsApp, and this is a good chance for me to speak directly to some of us and see how I can be able to answer any questions that you may have. Now, to start us off, my name is Bob Mwiti, and I grew up in Kenya. I was born in Meru County. For those who know Meru, where Meru is, I grew up with my grandparents. I went to the local public primary school called Gekomene, which is right not far off from Meru town. I went to that school. I graduated from that school in 1997, did my KCPE from the school. Scored an A plain mean grade. And then I was admitted to Nairobi School. I couldn't get to Nairobi School, so I ended up going to a school called Kobo High School, still in Meru. And I did my KCSE from Kobo High School, scored a B+, and I was admitted to University of Nairobi for a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics at Chiromo campus. But again, I went to that school for a few months, then later on transferred to Strathmore University, where I pursued a Bachelor of Commerce degree in Accounting and Finance. I graduated in 2008. Then in 2009, I relocated to the US as a master's student. I went to school at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and I graduated from IUP with a master's in business administration in professional accountancy with a GPA of 3.73. Now, having graduated from school with my MBA, and like most people who come here as international students, I was struggling to really find good work in corporate America. In fact, actually, I was to graduate from school in 2010, December 2010. But I ended up graduating in May of 2011 because of the fact that I could not really find a good job. Even getting an internship was a problem. Okay, and this is, these are problems that a lot of our people face, when they come here as international students. So, and I didn't want to just graduate and not have anything, because as an international student, you're only given 60 days to find work. Okay, so it was, it was very hard for me. But because I'm a very, very inquisitive person, like I don't just sit there and wait for things to happen like I'll ask questions, yeah? So I'm that kind of a person. So I was looking around and I was seeing a lot of international students, especially from Asia, India specifically. They were graduating and they were getting jobs. Like I could hear someone, someone is working as a business analyst with Yahoo, with Google, all these big companies. And these are people that I would have graduated with previously, like the previous year. So I was like, why are these guys getting jobs? And yet every Kenyan or every African that I knew, honestly, no one had a good job. All of us were struggling. Some of us going into nursing homes and stuff like that. And me here, I didn't have anything. So I was like, there must be something that is, these guys are doing that is making them get jobs. And yet us, we are struggling. So I found out that, you could be trained. I didn't know anything about IT. Me, I had a BCom, I had an MBA from Kenya. So a few of my colleagues, Indians, they told me, hey, you know what, you can get trained on job skills. And after that, you can be able to get a good job. The US market needs people with the right skills. You see, now me, back in Kenya, I used to work as a teller, at Equity Bank. Before I got here, I worked there for like 6 months after I graduated from school. So, I mean, those kind of, that kind of experience or skill, anyone can be a teller here. You guys know that, right? I mean, a teller job, it's for high school students, not someone with a master's. So even I remember going to do an interview at Wells Fargo, drove 7 hours from Pittsburgh to Philly to do an interview, and yet I could not even get the job. Teller job, dude. Like, teller job that pays you, I don't know, $12 or something like that. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the job. And here I was working at Equity Bank back in Kenya, and I had an MBA from, from the US and a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance, and I couldn't get a teller job. So anyways, so so I figured out that, I could get trained, and that's really now when I started pursuing IT. For me, IT was never my cup of tea. Okay. So anyways, luckily I got an Indian company that took me on board. They trained me as an Oracle systems analyst. So basically, I was trained as that person who configures and sets up the Oracle system from the front end without necessarily doing any programming work. Remember, I told you guys, I had accounting degree. I don't know how to code. And even up to today, I've been in the industry for about 10 years now. I can't write even one single line of code, yeah? So, so I think, we have many of us out here who don't know how to code. And I always tell people, like, don't be discouraged, because a lot of people out there think that to be successful in the tech space, you really have to know how to code. I'm one of those people who don't know how to code. So it's possible. Now, anyways, so I got trained. That was in 2011. I got trained for like 5 months. Then in 2012, January, I got my first project, and I got employed as an Oracle systems analyst. Now, that's how I was able to get into the tech industry. The company that trained me also, they filed for my H-1B visa. I remember I had come as an international student. So all that's 2012, 2011, 2012, I was on something called optional practical training. This is basically a work authorization that you're given once you graduate from school for 1 year. So I used that now to do the training and of course get the job. And I started working as an Oracle systems analyst with that company that trained me. They filed for my papers in 2012. I was able to get my H-1B visa. And then after that, now I got into the industry. I changed a few companies here and there. In 2016, I was able to get my green card also through employment. Then after that, I immediately started, trying to figure out how I can now become an entrepreneur. All along, I always wanted to help people, and also before even that time, I used to train people just by myself. I'll train them, I'll hook them with jobs and stuff like that. I used to work with a lot of recruiters, and I used to place people here and there. And I was like, you know what, I can actually start my own thing. I'm one of those people who like also business stuff. So I was like, I think I can come up with something for myself rather than just being the one who is just earning, by myself as a consultant. I can actually have people work for me, So I started the business. I started Upstack America in 2017. I registered the company in March, but I started business in 2017 September, which was on my 5th birthday. So I was like, you know what? I think now this is the next chapter, and I started that business on my birthday. We've been doing well since then. That time I was working with Citibank as a systems analyst, making really good money, over 6-figure salary. And but after 6 months being in the business, I quit. I decided to let it go, that job, and I started concentrating mostly on this business to make it grow further. Now, so we started off as a training company for Oracle EBS. Oracle is the technology that I was working on when I used to work as a consultant. So I continued doing that because that's really what I knew. But now you see, as a business, also you keep on growing, and we started now, adding more programs apart from Oracle. And now currently we have 4 programs. These are IT training programs. We have Oracle systems. We also added robotics process automation, where we train people to become robotics process automation business analysts. Also, we added robotics process automation developer, which basically means we train you to become a developer to be able to solution robotics process automation technology. We also have a training program on data science, and this is on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So those are the IT training programs that we run in the company. So as I said, we started off with Oracle, and then of course with the growth, we've been able to now add all those really, really good training programs. Now, So anyways, so when I started the company, it was just training. And then of course, if someone comes through the program, they are, they are successful in terms of, passing the exams and all that, we help them find jobs. Okay. So that was our core business. That still remains our core business up to today. Training programs and of course, placement services. So you have a lot of connections in terms of recruiters and other consulting firms out there in the market. My partner in the company is an Indian guy, and he used to work. I poached him from my previous employer, the guys who trained me. So he's actually the one who got me my first project. So he's my partner in the company, and he helps mostly with recruitment and placement services, because I'm not very good into that. Me, I'm more into the training aspect of the business. So he's the one who runs that other aspect of the company's recruitment and all that. Now, having said that, in 2017, I figured that we needed to come up with a solution for those people who come here as international students like me. Okay, based on the challenges that I had, I was like, I think there should be a lot of really brilliant Kenyans out there, back in Kenya. They want to come to the US, but they don't have the means. Me, I came to this country because I had a dad who could help me come here. I used even to live on campus. Like, my dad was loaded. He's a businessman. He lives in England. But I grew up as a very poor kid. I grew up with my grandparents. Like, when I was born, my dad was in high school. My mom, she dropped out of school. So me, I never even met my dad until I was 22 years old. So I know the pain. Me, I'm not those guys who used to go and alimo kwa mashamba ya wadosi nini nini. That used to be how I used to make money when I was in high school. Until my dad came into my life when in the last year of high school. And it's because it's a long story anyways, but my grandpa had to look for him and stuff like that. And that's how he came into my life. And from then on, my life transformed from being this kid who never used to afford anything to someone who used to have a lot of things. That's even not how I ended up even going to Strathmore and all that, because my dad was doing very, very well. He's a businessman back in England. And now he also tried to, have me relocate to the UK, but I was getting denied visa. I got denied visa 4 times before I finally decided to come to the US. But anyways, for me, coming to the US was easy for me because my dad was loaded. Even I used to live on campus and all that. So I didn't have a problem. But I realized there's a lot of people out there who maybe are like me those days that I used to be with my grandparents, where I didn't have any money. So there's those that would want to come here, study, but it's very, very expensive here in the US. You guys know that, cost of studying here, especially for masters, it's gonna cost around maybe 25,000 on the lower side. Tuition and living expenses, 25. If you don't have 25,000, you can't even get the I-20. So anyway, so I was like, I think we need to have a solution for that, right? How can someone who doesn't have a lot of money be able to come and pay all that kind of money to come and study here in the US? On the other side also, I realized because of the challenges that I faced when I graduated from school, I was like, there has to be a lot of smart people like me in this country who came as international students, but they are not able to figure it out. They are not able to transition from being on a student visa to a skilled worker. I realized also, H-1B visa, the US gives about 85,000. They give 85,000 H-1B visas every year. And out of those 85,000, how many Africans get them? Very little. Like 90% of those H-1B visas, they go to Indians. That's what it is. A lot of our people, they don't even know anything about it. So people come here on student visas, F1 visas. They are not now able to get good jobs. They're not able to get H-1B. You really hear a Kenyan on H-1B visa. Am I the only one, or maybe I live in a different planet? Like, seriously, like there are not many out there. We are not many of us, and yet we actually in this country, we are one of those most highly educated groups of immigrants. But we don't show that. Even we don't get H-1Bs. We rarely get employment-based green cards, but they are there. They are there for people who have the skills, people who have the right skills Americans don't have. That's what I always tell people. Like these Indians, they are the ones who get these H-1B visas. They are the ones who get employment-based green cards. Do you know the US government gives 140,000 employment-based green cards every year? Out of that 140,000, they split all those visas equally per country. Each country gets about 9,800. So a country like Kenya is given 9,800 visas, employment-based green cards for those people who have the right skills that Americans don't have. We don't use them. I don't know even whether you get even 500. It's way less than that. And our visas end up being used by Indians, Chinese, Filipinos. Okay, there's so many of them. In fact, actually, there's so many of them applying for these visas. They don't even have available visas. For an Indian to get a green card, employment-based green card, it takes them at least 15 years to get an employment-based green card. A Kenyan like me or you or an African, any African out there, it takes only 18 months to get an employment-based green card. 18 months only. And all you need is just have the right skills. That's what I realized when I got into this industry. I don't talk about things that I haven't done. I've been there. I came as a student. I got an H-1B visa. I got an employment-based green card. Okay, so I've done my research and I know that there are not many out there who got papers through this way. And yet we have the brains. We have so many people come here as international students. And you know, the bad part about this whole thing is that there's so many of us out there who don't have the right immigration documents. So many of us, in fact, actually about 30% of African immigrants in this country, they don't have the right papers. Okay, they don't have the right papers up to that percent. And you can even see the way we make money. We tend to think that we make a lot of money here in the US, but actually we don't. A lot of us are struggling out there. Very few of us are even in the tech space. Most of us are out there struggling. I see a lot of people, a lot of really smart Kenyans doing warehouse jobs and all that kind of stuff, right? A lot of them out there. And these are people who came here probably as international students, okay? Or even those who came as visitors. Normally, they had a very good education back in Kenya. They used to like do very well, they used to work in nice jobs, you know, like managers and all that, right? That's the reality. We don't talk about these things, but this is what it is, okay? In fact, actually, if you go and check statistics, it shows that Indians, they're the ones who make more money than anybody else. You can't compare Indians even with the white Americans. Indians, they make around $100,000 per year. That's their median household income. Do you know the best performing African immigrant group? It's Nigerians. They make around 60,000. So can you see the gap? Gap of about 40,000. They're almost doubling our best. Me, I don't even know where Kenyans we are, by the way. Maybe around 50s, around there. Seriously, I had like Kenyans, our average income, I think it's like $17. So you don't want to make money. Can you imagine that's what you are making and you're so happy about it? And yet here Indians are making like they're doubling us. Okay, and I realized, even look around, man. I mean, wherever you are, those nice neighborhoods where they have good schools and everything, most of the people you will find there, they are not Kenyans or Africans in general. Most of them immigrants that you will find there, they're usually Indians. They are the ones who live in those nice neighborhoods. So I realized these guys, they are very ambitious. Mostly you won't find Indians doing all these other jobs. You know, mostly they are in the tech space. You guys are in the tech space, like you've seen, 70, 80% Indians. It's what it is. And I always tell people like, they are there because this is where the money is. Okay, I always tell people like, you look around, like in your company, if you see Indians in one department, just go there, because they won't be in those departments where there's no money. You know, even in the IT industry, you guys will realize that Indians are not usually like technicians, you know, those guys who are fixing computers and all that. They're usually doing the implementations, the hard stuff, the complex ones where there's money. That's where they are. Most of these other jobs, like for example, within an IT department, maybe operations people, technicians and all that, those are usually done by Americans, and that's not where the money is. You know, anyways, so having seen the challenges that I had and what I've seen in the industry, that a lot of our people, we are smart, but we don't have ways of, you know, transitioning now from being a student on a student visa to being, you know, in the workforce, you know, American corporate world. I was like, you have to find a solution. There's nothing out there. Nothing addresses our problems, yeah? Because even getting into the tech space, no one really, no African told me about it. It's Indians who actually showed me the way, But I was like, I need to be that Indian to our people. Okay, I need to be that person who connects our people to opportunities, whether they want to study here or whether they want to make good money here in the tech space. I can definitely show them the way I was showed, and maybe even much better way of doing things. So out of that now, and the fact that I realized a lot of our people, they don't get papers through employment, I was like, come on, we can do this. I mean, we just need to have the right skills, and you are good to go. We can be making same money as these Indians. Indians, they send back a lot of money back in India. And it's because also India, they support their students, a lot of them who want to come here. Even in India, they have like student loans and all that, and you can come and study here in the US. So in Kenya or any African countries, there's nothing like that. You can't talk of student loans to send people out of the country. There's nothing like that. Anyways, based on all those three issues: one, funding; two, good jobs in corporate America; and three, immigration papers through employment, we started the Kenya Airlift program. Now, initially, I used to call it International Scholars Program. But at some point, maybe a few months after I had started talking about that International Scholars Program, someone reached out to me. And this was a member of county assembly from close to where I come from. And he had come to the US, and he's one of those. He's a very young guy. He used to be student leader at University of Nairobi, so very progressive guy, one of the best performing MCAs back in Kenya. He's even younger than me. I'm 38, I think he's 34. So he reached out to me. He had come to the US, and someone told me, and I think he had a discussion with someone and told them, like, you would want to bring people here, because he's an MCA, you want to do something for young people. And that person connected him with me. And this guy called me and he's like, hey, Bob, I would like to talk to you about what you do and see how we can work together. So at that time in 2018, I was in Kenya. So I told him, hey, you know what? I'm in Nairobi. If you're around, then we can talk. He told me, okay, that's fine. So anyways, long story short, we met, and that's how the Kenya Airlift program was born, proper Kenya Airlift now, yeah? So anyways, so what he did, which was a brilliant idea also, was that he decided we form a circle in Kenya. Initially, he was calling it a name that reflected where it came from, but we later changed it to the Airlift Circle. So a circle is basically like a credit union here, right? You guys know that, right? So we formed that circle specifically to fund this program with a revolving fund. So so what we did was we decided, okay, we can come up with a program where we bring students here, we get them, we source for their funding to study here in the US. And then also at the same time also, once the students are here, we train them on job skills. Remember, I told you guys, our core business is IT training programs. So the same training programs we offer these guys who are coming through this Kenya Airlift program. And this we offer them for free. It's part of the whole package. Yeah. And then also, so we train them as they pursue their masters. And then when they graduate, by the time they graduate from school, they will have the skills that are needed in the job market that will enable them now not to struggle. Remember, I told you guys, I had to extend school by 1 semester because I was struggling. I didn't have the job skills. Okay. So how can we fix that? Okay, so we started these programs now. Once someone is here, we get them enrolled on board and they start working on them. We have capstone projects where they can work on. It's pretty much basically like you working as you go to school, and you already have, and we give them like, project to work on and stuff like that, as they pursue, as they do this training, so that now when they graduate from school, they already have the skills that are needed in the job market. Okay, and now they can also be able to get good jobs in the tech space. We have all the connections. Even companies that file for me, they want people. I mean, I always tell people, like, if you have the skills out there, I mean, it's very easy for you to get papers. It's what it is. It's very easy. You just need the skills and you're smart. You're going to get the papers. So we can connect them to various employers out there who can file for them. We are not that big enough to start filing papers for people yet, but also we want to be self-sustaining in this Kenya Airlift program in our company. We are basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to build our own Deloitte of Africans, our own Infosys of Africans. Okay, it's possible. It's possible. I see a lot of even people out there who don't understand our programs, and I'm like, guys, I wish you could sit down with me and see our vision of this program. Okay, we are trying to do something that no one has ever done. It's a very risky business, by the way. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's not easy. Okay, so even when I see a lot of people out there maybe talking bad about the program, I wish they could actually go through that Kenya Airlift program handbook and read it and understand what we are trying to solve. Because it's not really about a matter of just bringing students here. We are solving so many problems at the same time. Okay, we put in a lot of effort to actually come up with, like, do a lot of research and come up with that program. Okay, we didn't just want to just come up with something that just addresses just one problem. We wanted a whole package that addresses all these 3 problems that our people face. It's the truth. This is what it is. You guys know that. And that's why I was so excited even when Jackie set up this meeting, because I know I'm talking to intellectuals. You know, it's easy to talk to people who really understand, people who have gone to school, right? Because a lot of majority out there, actually, they are not smart. So they don't even understand these things. So because our program is very, very unique, a lot of people, they don't even get it and understand that. But talking to you people, because I know you guys are smart, you're in the tech space, so you are the smartest brains that we have. You can actually go out there and actually explain to people out there what exactly you are trying to solve. Okay, that's why I was so excited to be addressing you guys, because I know you guys get it. So anyways, so for us now, we train them, and then once they graduate from school, we'll be able to get them good jobs. And these jobs are, you know, they come with papers. Now, we can be self-sustaining, like I said. We are trying to build the companies that I've just said. And how can we do that? One, if our business becomes big, which has actually is pretty much looking like, all we need is just absorb the students who are graduating, and we can actually get them into our company. Okay, soon we start filing for their papers. They don't need to look for some other companies out there to file for their H1Bs or green cards. No, we can do that. We have a business that is coming from Kenya through the Kenya Airlift program. Big business. Can you imagine how many people are out there that don't have good jobs and they want to come to America? So many people out there. Yes, it's a big business. It's a big business. So that business, we need to support it. We need systems. We need to implement a lot of things. We need these smart people also who are coming through the program. Right now, we've even, some of the guys who are coming to study here, we even give them jobs. Some of them are working for us, onboarding students, because we have now so many students who are joining the program. We have the onboarding process and stuff like that. These are people we're employing through the program. And that's why I'm saying this is a self-sustaining program. Okay, now, let's go back to the circle. Why the circle? Now, here's the thing. We realize that you can even, like, we are so poor back home, man. Like, you can get someone a scholarship and that person may not even be able to get here because they don't have the money. That's the truth. That's the reality. You get them a full ride here in the US and they can't even bring themselves here. So what do? We want to help. But how do we help in that aspect? So that's where now this Airlift circle comes into place. So what we do, anybody is coming through our program. Also, our program is not free. Okay, we charge $1,000 as consultation fees that takes care of everything in this program. From our training, those trainings that we normally do here in the US, we charge them a lot of money. They cost over $10,000 combined. We have programs that we charge $3,000, $2,000, and our most affordable one is $2,000. We're offering these training programs for free to those guys who are coming through the Kenya Airlift program, because we know that these are smart people. They have a high chance of getting a job through us, and we're going to make money as a company later on. You don't have to make money off them now. What the money that we need right now is basically for us to enable us grow the program, be able to market the program out there. We are doing a lot of marketing. So that's really what it is. Otherwise, if we were to really charge what it is that we are supposed to charge, no one can afford it. No one. Okay, so anyways, so this circle, we formed it so that now students who join the program, they contribute their money to the circle. Okay, so that now we set the amount of contribution as $1,000. So when someone joins the program, they pay $1,000. But this $1,000 can't take them anywhere because one, there's GMAT exam that they have to do, or GRE. It costs around $250. Now that's GMAT only, and we see a lot of students, passing and then failing, and then attempting doing another attempt. So up to 2 times max. Okay. Anyways, there's GMAT 250. There's application cost to schools, maybe up to 100, because we normally apply to 3 best schools that we feel like you can have a chance of getting accepted. Then, of course, there is some other fees that are associated with your visas. Okay, there is something called service fee. It's around $350. There's the visa fees, which is around 160. There is once you get the visa, then you'll do some immunizations, about $200. You need an air ticket, about $1,000. That's a lot of money. It's already more than $1,000 that you just need for you to even think of coming here. Okay. All right. So what we did was that Airlift Circle was to provide some funding for that whole process, and of course now add our own $1,000 consultation fees. Now you see how much it is. Usually the amount is usually about 300. That's the projection that we put in the Kenya Airlift Program Handbook. So now what happens is once someone contributes that $1,000 into the circle, they also register with the circle for that dollars, and then now that money is put together. It's a revolving fund within the circle. And now what we do is, as the students come here, we give them money that is enough to have covered all the relocation expenses. Even we pay for the air ticket, we also book the accommodation, we pay for their deposits, first month of rent. It actually comes to more than $3,000. Usually I see students' statements for their loan, usually around 3,200 or whatever, 400, around there. So we give that to the students. And now, once the students come here also, when the students are here, we do some other activities. But okay, first of all, before the students leave, we usually have some activities in Nairobi. We are having them at the Safari Park Hotel, where all the students go there and we celebrate those who are coming here. We even invite in prospective students for them to learn more about the program. And then now, once the students comes, they normally come to Tampa first. We organize some really good activities with them, boarding, more of like a boarding session with them, because these guys, we meet online. This is an online business, by the way. We just opened our office in Nairobi CBD at Utalii House just this month. So, but we didn't have an office. Everything we do it online. So, but we meet at Safari Park before they leave. Everybody is invited. They don't contribute anything. Everything free, the food and all. And then when they come here in the US, we host them for free in a resort, Huku Tampa, by the beach. Okay, we pick them with limos and all that. We want that experience, for them to experience that. Even though they don't have any money, but they need that experience. When we talk to them, we explain to them, the do's and don'ts of America, all those things. There's a lot of things that I didn't know when I came as an international student. Okay, so these are part of what we do, and they are not paying anything. Like, for example, right now, I've been so busy this week, because we had students and we had to go to Alabama to sign our contracts and all that. But the whole week I was with the students. Every day I go to their resort, we talk, tunafanya vitu, tunaenda kwa beach, we do jet ski, we do all kinds of activities. Okay, all right. It's a lot of things that we are doing to these students because we want them to have a soft landing. And then sasa akianza shule, they don't have to worry. Okay, so this is how we do it in the Kenya Airlift program. So they come here, they go to school, they get funded. Funding usually comes in terms of graduate assistantship awards and unsecured international student loans. Now, schools that we work with, most of them offer half graduate assistantship awards, which means that maybe the other half you may have to raise. But the way we do it is we raise that through unsecured student loans. So currently you are working with Empower, is our official lending partner in the program. We also use Prodigy. Prodigy is another lender that offers unsecured international student loans, but they are not our official partners, but we still use them. There's a few of our students who has a Prodigy loan. but our official lender is Empower Financing. Now, we usually, there are some schools that we are working with, like currently Illinois State University. All our students who are at Illinois State University, they have full graduate assistantship awards, basically meaning they are not paying even a dime. And they also get a stipend on a monthly basis, around $1,000. Okay. University of Alabama, the one that we just signed an agreement with, a collaboration agreement. We have a student there who is on full ride. Other students, they are on half scholarships, and then they pay the other half using their loans. And one of the students there also, we employ him, so also we pay him from the SACCO also. Is like he's on our payroll also, you know. So that's how they're able to make money, and you want it to be like that. So, you know, they don't have to struggle. If they have a GA, if someone has a half GA, then the other money, they can definitely be able to get it from the loan. But we always encourage our students first to take the GA, then they may not even need the loan after the second semester, because now they can get full GAs. So anyway, so in a nutshell, that's really how our Kenya Airlift program works. And because we still have like 20 minutes, I can leave the floor open for any questions that you may have. You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Appstech America. Appstech America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.appstechamerica.com. Appstech America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you.
Thank you so much for breaking it down, and thank you so much for what it is that you do with the Kenya Airlift program and the provision of actually making what would be a dream for most within the United States and even in Kenya, just giving them the opportunity then to come. It's beautiful what you stated about the jobs, especially in tech, and people do not have to do all these other jobs if they don't have to. And you stating that H-1B visas are options. Green cards can be provided through work. We do not actually utilize them to their full capacity. And bringing that awareness where we actually have to open our minds and start thinking outside the box. It's beautiful, the manner in which you found funding, and you keep finding funding and the way in which you partner with absolutely good schools. So with that said, I want to open it. Guys, please, we have Bob here. There have been several questions in the past, but he is right in front of you right now. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free. The floor is open. Bob is right in front of you. So today we can ask questions about what you want to know. Anything?
Okay. There's someone here who is asking, what is the eligibility criteria for the scholarship? Okay. Now, here's the thing. The schools that we work with, these are really good schools. Currently, we are working with the University of Alabama in Huntsville as our official partner. We also have Illinois State University. We have Grand Valley State University. We also have University of South Dakota and North Dakota, and I think Kentucky State and University of South Florida. We have a total of 8 schools. Now, here's the thing. Now, out of these 8 schools, it's not like we have official partnership with all of them. So what we try to do is, see, also, when you're starting something like this, no one cares who you are. And like, you reach out to schools and they don't know you. They're like, who are you? What do you want us to, to partner with you on, right? So what we did was, we said we're gonna try the hard way, the most effective way. So we started bringing students to those schools. We did our research and we realized, okay, Illinois State, there is scholarships. Okay, so we started sending students to Illinois State. So they start seeing applications from Kenya, and they would be like, wow, where are these coming from? So the same thing we did, we do the same applications to UAH. We know that they have this and this and this. So we started sending students there. Within no time, now we reach out to them and tell them, hey, you know what, by the way, you see all these students that we've been accepting, they come from our program. Yeah, and now we give them pictures and videos, and that's how we've been able to have these partnerships. You understand? So when we started, all these schools, they didn't know who we are. So we had actually to bring students to the school. And that's why we've chosen those 8 schools. We'll keep on pumping students there until the school realized that we have a very, very good source of brilliant students. And that's how they can work with us. So that's how we are getting these partnerships. Yeah. Same thing, even with the lenders. Right now, you're working with the biggest lender out there for international student loans. We are not that big to be working with them. No, we did the same thing. We started using their loans. When you put the applications, we say it's coming from Upstack, and they started seeing that there's a lot of, even people who are outside of our programs, they start applying and saying they heard from Upstack, and that's how these lenders, they reach out to us, and that's how we got partnerships. So that's how we are working it out. Okay, it's not easy, but sure, it's slow but sure. That's how we do it. Now, in terms of eligibility for scholarships, mostly if you have a very good GMAT score or GRE for that matter, you should not have a problem. Remember, I always tell students, like, if you really want a school to give you a scholarship, just know that it's usually merit-based. They don't just dish it out there to just anybody just because you want it. You have to deserve it. Okay, and that's why even in our programs, you have to get a GMAT score of at least a 550. If you and a GRE of 310. So if you're not able to get to that level, don't even expect to get scholarships, because they are based on how you've done your undergraduate. Of course, you have to have maintained at least a 3.0, and of course, how you performed in your GMAT or GRE. So that's how it is. That's the eligibility criteria for scholarships. You have to be smart. It's what it is. Now, there's something here. Is this program only for tech careers? Yes, and the reason is because, remember also, I've said this, that it's not just a matter of bringing people here. We know actually you can even go online and apply for the school and come here. If you have the money, it's easy. But our program is to take care of three things. One, funding. Two, good jobs in corporate America. And three, papers. We are in the tech space. We know tech very, very well. I was an IT consultant, and we do IT training and placement services. So we can't really take anybody who is out of that ecosystem, because we want to bring those we can be able to help. So this is for just those people who are interested in tech. You don't have to actually have a tech undergraduate, as long as you're willing to do an IT related master's program. There's a lot of master's programs out there actually that are not very techy. Like, for example, business analytics, you may need to know a little bit of Python. We have those classes even that you can take before you get here. You can also do, let's say, for example, project management. It's a STEM program, and it doesn't require you to know any coding and stuff like that. So we have a variety for those people who don't have any coding background. And also we do train, because some of these programs, like, for example, let's say, for example, you want to do cybersecurity. And it requires you to have, let's say, for example, an undergraduate in, or some programming background in C# or whatever, .NET framework. So we can train you on that once you get accepted. And by the time you get here, you're already good in programming. So you have all those other training programs that we support the students who don't have that background, so that it's easy for them to come here and actually do the programs. Is this program okay? You can all of you just type the questions and I can read them. So there's another question here. Is this program only for tech careers? Okay, that one I've just answered. So it's for tech careers, because you also want to help them. But also, like I said, even if you don't have any tech background, you can still join, as long as you are willing to do an IT master's. Remember also, the thing is, for you even to get papers through employment, your degree has to align with what you get as a job. So that's why you want them to do something related to IT. Ikifika time ya makaratasi, it won't be a problem. Is this program open to Kenyans already in the US? Yes, it's open to Kenyans already in the US. Let's say, for example, you are doing your undergraduate and you want, once you are done, you want to do a master's, we can take you on board. But you have to be in status, or maybe you are here and you're on B1, B2, but you haven't, overstayed. You can still join the program, and then if you want, you can go and process your F1 back in Kenya, or you can try to do your status change here, which kind of like a little bit hard because of the timings. But yeah, in those kind of people who have B1s and they want to come here, we can still help out somehow. The only fees to join is $1,000. Is that the only money required from the student to join? Yeah. So okay, so if you guys were keen enough to go through the program handbook, we had also stated that when students come here, they should have their own pocket money and all that stuff. we've seen that based on the conversation that we normally have, because we have a Telegram group of prospective students where we answer a lot of their questions and we hear their, their feedbacks and all. And we realize that a lot of people are being put off by, we said that once you come here, if after you've relocated and all that, we expect you to have some pocket money with you, just in case of anything. And we are calculating it to be maybe $700 a month times 6 months, maybe around 400,000. But not many Kenyans have that kind of money. But also based on what we've seen, even with the students who are here, they usually come here, they don't actually need that money most of the time. And you are like, you know what, maybe if someone really, if they're in trouble in terms of funding and they need some money, you can always give them money from the circle. So now we are getting rid of that requirement where the student has to have some pocket money with them. They can still, of course, we don't expect someone to just be with nothing. They can just have whatever they can, right? But it's not a requirement. It was never really a requirement. It's just that we had put it on the handbook, that I think we're going to remove it because it's creating a lot of problems. Apart from that, yeah, it's just the $1,000 plus $30 for SACCO registration. That's all you need. And remember also, part of what we do, that SACCO money that the student gets from as a loan, also we help them, like we pay for their first month of rent and deposit, so at least your first month is taken care of. And after that, because GA comes with a stipend on a monthly basis. There's a lot of also jobs in school also. We can also, like I said, we also want to be self-sustaining, so we have job actually in the program. In fact, actually, even from next week, I'm giving another student some work because we really need these guys. We are getting so much business. Okay, there's someone here. Hi, Bob. This is a private DM. Okay, this is a private one. Okay, never mind.
Bob, what you're doing is absolutely, it's phenomenal. It's amazing. I'm just so, my heart is so full just listening to you today and the opportunities. Guys, Bob is right here, right in front of you. The next time it be, I don't know. He's right in front of you. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to make people a little bit brave because closed mouths do not get fed. So Esther Wamboi is calling from Kenya. She's on the Zoom here and she's a very good student of Migot. I want to hear if Esther wants to say something. Esther, I'm putting you on the spot. Nancy, I also saw your question, so maybe be ready. Esther.
Okay, yeah, thanks. I was planning on talking to Bob directly, but for me, I have started the program and I believe like I sent my documents. What I am trying to do is raise the $1,000 to join the program in itself, because from my GPA and my from my certifications here, I think I have reached the criteria for joining universities. I just need to do the GRE and the GMAT. So my only question that I had is, okay, we get the loans. So is there a repayment criteria? Like, is there a grace period that you're given once you get the loan? Is it after you graduate, or when do you start repaying the SACCO loans and the Empower loans?
Okay, good question. And karibu sana to the program. We'll be waiting for you. Now, the SACCO loan, you start repaying after 2 years. That's when it matures. You make it very flexible. You probably, I don't know, I think it's like $100 a month. So it wouldn't be a lot of money for you. Because see, also, we don't want someone to be having so much money and they don't have a job. We know IT, there is money. Okay, we want to make sure that you're going to get that money. And that's how you can be able to repay us. So yeah, after you graduate from school. Also with the Empower loan and Prodigy loan, you repay 6 months after you graduate from school. So there is also that grace period. Yeah, but for Empower, we always encourage also students to apply for, when you're doing the applications for the loans, in case someone needs one. Prodigy, they are a little bit strict in terms of who they lend to. You have to have a good credit score from Kenya, which should be excellent. But unfortunately, a lot of our people, they don't have really good credit. What am I default to Kenya? Easy, all these, what do you call them? HELB and Mshwari and all those Fuliza stuff. Like almost, we are getting so many students who don't have really good credit. And they all understand that, lenders, they are looking for these credits. But the good thing is we have Empower. They work with us, and they normally lend to you even if you don't have a good credit. You don't have to show your credit for them. But you start repaying when you start repaying interest though when you're still in school. That could be maybe like $100 that you are paying back. But it's not a lot of money. You always see this, like this program, honestly, if you can't be able to pay $100 on a monthly basis, tutapea kazi ufanye, hata tunakulipa $100 tunalipia. It's not a big deal. That's how we want the program to be self-sustaining. Hizo shinda ndogo ndogo, that's why the program is there. Remember also, we are getting a lot of students who are joining the program. It's not like they are coming to the US immediately. So like on average right now, we are averaging a student a day enrollment. And it's not like every day a student is leaving to come to the US. So we are actually we are collecting a lot of money, all right, from those who are joining the program. So we have revolving fund that can be able to support anything that we are doing. Because now, for example, once these students are done, the next intake is for January. Between now and January, you'll have collected a lot of money from the students who are joining on a daily basis. So that's how that circle thing works. And that's how we are able to lend to the students. Okay, we want even to get to a point where we don't even need Empower or Prodigy or anything. We can lend. If the students need, for example, even when they are here, they need to buy a car. Why should they go and start looking for a car somewhere? We can lend them some money once they graduate from school, right? So that's how we want this program to be self-sustaining. Even when these guys are done with their school, you guys know that even investing back home, like you can't even trust your own siblings or your own people. We want even a vehicle that can be able to help these guys, because now 5 or 10 years down the line, these are guys who will be making good money. They are investing back in Kenya. Okay, they need someone that they can trust who can do those investments for them. So we also want the program, the Airlift Circle, can be the vehicle for investments back in Kenya. So we want to be self-sustaining. Everything, we can do it. We just need the numbers. We really just need the numbers. That's all we need. That's all we need. You have just, right now, you are focusing on numbers. Numbers. As long as we have the numbers, we are all set. We can start even giving our own loans, anything the students need. We also what we want to do. This is our vision also. We want to also, like the schools, we don't want just to send to any schools. We want to concentrate on specific schools that partner with us, and these are good schools. And we can build communities around those schools also, where also even we can have our own apartment complexes where our students are staying. They don't even have to pay the normal rate for rent. So these are things that we can actually do if people join the program. Yes. Okay. And we can do a lot of things. Imagine even back in Kenya, man, all companies need is people who are bright, who have the skills. We can even be implementing projects, even for companies like Equity or Safaricom back in Kenya from here. So that's what we want. That's what we want. I always tell people, imagine being like a group of the best brains in this country with the right skills and everything. We can do some amazing things. We can do some amazing things. We can network together. We can help each other. We can do stuff. We've never done this. We want to be like these Indians. And also, I talk a lot about Indians, by the way. These guys, they do well also because they are very connected. Very connected. Muhindi haezi kula shida hapo na muhindi mwingine anakula shida. Wanaambiananga. That's why they are in the tech space. Si ati hata wanakuanga very sharp. Hapana, it's mostly because they help each other. They tell each other what they need to do. So that's what we are trying to do. Anybody who's coming through the Kenya Airlift program, that whole ecosystem of the Kenya Airlift, you don't want them to be out of that, because we can do a lot of things together.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. I'm going to go down to the next question. I'm just gonna, there's John Okeo says you're doing a very great job. He's going to be in touch with you. Susan is asking for the recording. It's Julius Okeo. He says, Emily K says, this is a great program. Thanks, Bob. And then Julius Okeo states, Bob, you do a great job. I have known you for years now, and I'm amazed. I will find you. We talk. I have students I sponsor, and most of them are still doing undergrad in Kenya. Have a good night, and thank you. I have to log out. So he will look for you. Then the next question is from, let's see. Julia Carroll is asking, how does one get in touch with the program in Kenya? And I can also drop the link as well to the handbook, but please feel free to go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, so you can actually use the contacts in the handbook. We are updating the handbook because that Kenyan office, we just opened it. The person we just finished hiring this month, and that person we are trying to train her and so that she can really know a lot about the program. So she's still in the process of learning. But if you need any question, if you have any questions or anything about the program, just download the program handbook from the website www.kenyaairliftprogram.com. There is also a link Telegram to a Telegram group of prospective students. So in that group, we have like a lot of information there about the program, frequently asked questions, the next steps of onboarding, and all that stuff. So I think that's the best place that you want to be in. You can answer all your questions there. But if you still need to talk to someone, I can always talk to you also. You can just call me. Our number is on the program handbook. But our office, they are at, we just opened an office at Utalii House, North Wing, first floor, suite number 4. But that one will update the handbook in the next few days. So I see someone here asking, how does one get in touch with the program in Kenya? Oh, sorry, not that one. How does the visa processing work? Now, here's the interesting fact about visas, yeah? So remember you guys, I told you, like, I really struggled getting a visa. And I know a lot of Kenyans out there, they actually do the same. In fact, actually, statistics show that 70% of African students who seek student visas to come and study in North America, that's the US and Canada, they get denied visas, unfortunately. So we know that. And we also want to change that, okay? Change how our students are able to get these visas. Now, one, we have a very, very intensive visa coaching program where it's not just those who are in the Kenya Airlift program, it's part of what we do as a company. We have that product, visa coaching. Now, what we do is every student that we've coached who has gone through our program and they've been successful in coming here, all those sessions that we had with them, we recorded them. And then we also recorded their feedbacks. Okay. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to analyze all those cases and see how we can be able to improve on the next students who go to the embassy. And actually, so far, we only had one student who got denied a student visa in the Kenya Airlift program. So far, one. Of course, we are not dealing with a lot of numbers, but actually it tells us that we are doing things the right way. Okay, because also personally having struggled with visas, I know the pain, and that's why we put a lot of focus in the visas, because at the end of the day also, if someone joins through the program and they're not able to succeed coming here, it's a loss to us. Okay, it's a loss to us, and we don't want that to happen. Also, other things that we are trying to do, right now my co-founder is here in the US, and we are trying to see how we can engage the US Embassy in Nairobi, Kenya. We are trying to get connections where we can be able to sit down with the relevant authorities from the embassy, mostly the ambassador and the people who are in charge of the consulate, where our students can be considered, because this is a legit program. It's a very, very good program for the US government and for the Kenyan government as well. I mean, this guy is in government, he's an MCA, so he's connected, even like Nakiraito and all that, those are people that he hangs out with, right? So we want that, we need that. So we want, if our applications, if our students, if they go to the embassy, the embassy knows that it's this program, and they can be able to have an easy time over there. So we're gonna work on that. It's something that we are pursuing right now. We don't have it yet, but we are pursuing it. So so that's how we are addressing that issue of visas. But like I said, so far we've not had issues of visa denials. Only one student so far. We know the reason why, but we learn out of all that. But that's not to say that visas are guaranteed. It's the prerogative of the US government, because I'll get a lot of our people asking, the first thing they ask you, is visa guaranteed? Of course, it can't be guaranteed. It can't be guaranteed. Same thing as guaranteeing applications to schools and all that scholarship. We can't do that. I mean, we are business. We have to protect our butts, right? So we can't guarantee anything. But you just need to take the risk also from your end, right? If you don't take the risk, then because also see a lot of people, they are scared of putting that $1,000 upfront, and they are scared it can be a scam. But you see also, I understand also all these things because as Kenyans, we are used to being scammed. We never used to have like a really something that is nice, something that is genuine. It's rare, and when people see something like this, they get concerned, which is okay. But we are trying to share information as much as possible. Like whatever we are doing right now is basically to build that trust and for you to go further and do your due diligence.
Hey, may I ask a question, Mr. Mwiti?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
So it's a comment. Hold on one second. Let me adjust. It's a comment and a question.
Yes.
I first of all want to congratulate you for what you're doing. It was it's our first time meeting. I want to reach out offline so we can connect more. I think I know a lot of friends in the ground that you can help. So as you say, I am a fellow with you. I have a training program, and I know how people have a lot of what I would call it hesitations. Like a lot of people ask me so many questions, like,
yes,
am I gonna get a job?
Yes.
Can you wait until I get a job, then I pay you back? There's all those things. Yes, I've had it, my brother.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I'm laughing.
Yes. So the challenge we have, and this is just human nature. It's nothing about us as Kenyans. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
The biggest thing you said, I want to repeat is, you are doing what Indians are doing on a daily basis. My neighbors are Indians.
Yes.
Right now in their home, there's like 7 cars out there.
Correct.
All those people, he's an Oracle guy. All those people have come to learn Oracle.
Yes.
And 2 years from now, those are the people working at IBM, KPMG, the big companies. They may not have peppers, but they figure it out.
Yeah.
And all you need is skills.
Yes.
And all you need is to do, and we don't take advantage of all these visas.
I know.
I just joined. I just joined Accenture. I'm in the leadership of Accenture, and I'm touring all these oil and gas companies, and everybody I'm working with is Indian. And I asked them, hey, how long have you been here? Oh, 17 years. I was a student. Somebody brought me. We don't have that network. The other people that are trying to do this, West Africans are trying.
Nigerians, yeah.
Nigerians are trying.
Yeah.
But there is this thing in us, which is normal. Now I accept it as just normal, is taking risk is very difficult.
Yes.
Because people want, hey, David, guarantee me I'm going to get a job if I give you this money. And I said, well, that depends on how well you do in the class. Yeah. Are you going to come to class every day? Are you going to do the assignments? Are you going to challenge yourself? Are you going to stand up when you think it's difficult? Are you going to rely on me and my instructors to help you? Are you going to quit? There's so many variables. So I've started telling students, come and challenge yourself. And there's that. We are used to being, there's just people say, oh, that's too good to be true.
Yeah.
And a guy told me, hey, I don't have no IT. And you're telling me I can do a 4-month training program. I can get a job making 90. And I said, I can introduce you to students who have done it, over 15. So without going into too much, I just want to congratulate you for what you're doing. And I need to contact you because there's so many people I know that can use your program. I'm so glad you connected with universities, man. This is legit.
Yeah.
And people don't know that you don't even need a bachelor's degree. Community college students who can spell Python are getting jobs.
That's what all people
they don't know that.
They don't know anything. Me, I honestly people asking, and I'm like, what?
Like anywhere, all tunaingia hapa, and it's the influence you get when you get here.
Yeah.
People come here and say nursing, tracking is great. I have nothing against that. I'm training so many nurses. And what I'm just trying to tell people, have that confidence. And I'm glad you're preaching the same message I'm preaching. And that's why I decided, I told Jackie today, I said, I'm so busy. I'm in my second week in the biggest job in my life. And I wanted to come and share this. And I want to tell you, man, I'm going to reach out to you. There are even universities I know. There's a university in Memphis that I want you to connect with. I know so many people have gone through there. They help people. And what you're doing is amazing, man. I just want to encourage you and thank you. And so my question is, when people come here, do they have to go up to masters? Because, can they enter right away? Because if they have a bachelor's, they can enter, they can get like even a work permit and start working kidogo kidogo, or do you recommend that they have to get a master's? That's the question.
Okay, so one of the reasons why we are using masters is because, see, our whole program, it's not really about, it's just a matter of coming to study. We want you to come. It's a way of coming here. That's the easiest way of coming here and actually working. So you're actually coming through school. But kupata visa hapo embassy, if you're undergraduate, it's very hard. So what we want, they use the masters. And also even these lenders, for example, if you have to take a loan, which you usually don't encourage, we want you to be on scholarship, but of course, sometimes it happens. But these lenders, they also don't want to lend someone who is coming for 4 years. They usually lend to you if you are at least left with 2 or less years to graduate. Okay.
Yes.
So that's why it's a master's. And then also the other thing of coming for a master's is, see also, let's say, for example, you graduate from school and our programs, it has to be STEM. STEM gives you up to 3 years of post-school, post-graduation work authorization. You can't come for an MBA through our program unless you come through there's a program, we call it para program for those who are not fitting into the Kenya Airlift. But anyway, we are talking about the Kenya Airlift here. So it has to be STEM. So STEM gives you up to 3 years of post-graduation work authorization. And nowadays, because we know H-1B visas, nowadays there's a lottery. So there's a chance also that you can miss out if a company files for your H-1B. Now, what we do is to increase your odds. First of all, as a master's student, you get 2 chances to be picked in one lottery. They normally run the pot for everybody. They pick. If you're not picked, they also now run for a pot for masters and PhD students. I mean, those with PhDs and masters. So usually the government gives 65 for undergrad and then a further 20 for those with masters. So you have 2 chances in the lottery for H-1B. Okay. Yes. Now, if you are not picked, let's say, for example, you are not so lucky and you don't get picked again, because now you have 3 years of post-graduation OPT, you still can have another chance for H-1B again. Wow. If you are not picked, you have another chance for H-1B again. So it's not like we are just picking anything. See, this is what people don't understand. Like we took our time to come up with this.
So you have OPT opportunities 3 years.
3 years, yes.
And then each of those years, yes, you can apply for lottery. And then you can get a deal that gives you H-1B.
Correct.
And, so wow,
and even if in those 3 years you are not able to get an H-1B, do you know, green card, you just need about 2 years of experience. So you can actually accumulate your experience, and you can actually get a green card, before even your OPT is over.
And it's not 2 years. It's not people's. Okay, so I'm supporting you in saying this. People say it's 2 years of experience. It's just a skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a skill. So let me just tell you, I did a project. Someone called me a long time ago and said, hey, David, I have a project. It's an Indian guy. I have a lot of Indian friends.
Me too.
And he said, even West Africans and then Kenyans, I have friends across. Because you got a network, guys. You got a network. How many people have you met this month? I asked my students that. You want a job so bad?
Yeah.
How many people have you met this month?
Yeah.
How about next month? Have you gone on LinkedIn? Do you know all the recruiters? Just this thing. These things don't come. It's not a shortcut. So a friend called me in 2013, say, hey, you have great experience. I want to send you, I have a friend at ExxonMobil, I want to send you there. And I said, wow, they're not going to hire me being a Kenyan. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to hire me.
Yeah.
And he says, no, they're going to hire you. I'm going to do all the groundwork. They're going to pick you up. You just have to kill the interview. And I know you're going to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go through with everything and I actually kill the interview.
Yeah.
And I get to ExxonMobil. I was only there, my brother, for 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know everybody who's hired me ever since, they go to that experience?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm at Accenture and I just got assigned an energy client.
Mm-hmm.
An energy client. So what I'm saying is people think 2 years experience, people think 24 months, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not 24 months, it's 2 years experience or equivalent. It's something the employer values.
Correct.
So the employers I've dealt with, when I went to Bank of America, when I went to all these companies that I've been working with, and I've been doing consulting on the side with United Nations, all these people, they relate to a global oil and gas company, and they run into, what did you do there? I was talking to these people this morning, and they say, yeah, it's great you were at Bank of America for 6 years. What did you do at ExxonMobil? And it forced me where I can't say I was only there for 10 months. I say I was only there for a year, almost a year. Because now people think, no, when I need 2 years, I need 10 years. Like they read a resume and they say, I need to be there for 5 years. No, that's just an estimate. And we sell ourselves short by thinking, I see that with my students when I tell them, you can get that job. Yes. And they say, well, these people are saying they want 7 years. I don't have 7 years experience. I say, that's what they're saying. You need to get on that job. You need to put your voice and be confident you can get this job. And this lady just called me. She's been doing mortgage banking for years, and she just became a mortgage data analyst. And I said, you can get this job. I think you can get this job. And I think we have to keep fighting, people like you and me. We have to, and Jackie, and all of us, Chris Megas, Caven Institute, we have to keep fighting against ourselves, believing that we cannot open these doors. Hey, David, I get people, David, I don't have any IT experience. And I said, that's the reason why I started training, so that you can cross, so it's just amazing what you're doing. And I think with OPT, with lottery, with green card, so when someone says 2 years, these people, the Indian companies, all these companies, Nigerians are now having their companies. I have a company. I'm now applying for people. It's not 24 months, okay? It's when you say 2 years, it's 2 years or equivalent. Yep. You could do a project for 9 months, and I could value that as an employer, that is equal to 2 years. Like there's a student I had, the employer called me. I said, yeah, she's been with me for 5 months, but let me tell you what she has done. Mm-hmm. And I said, bam, 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 bam. And she got off the call and she said, I think that's the right person for me. Yeah. So sometimes we read these time things and we get so literal with them, and that's not what they are. But brother, I'm out, and I don't want to take too much time, but I really just want to thank you. And Jackie, thank you for hosting this.
Thank you so much. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you guys have your numbers so that you'll connect, or I will give you each other's?
Connect us, please. Thank you.
I will connect you guys. Thank you, Dave, for coming through. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Bob, I want to say thank you so much for today's information.
No problem.
For anybody who's looking to reach to Bob, please feel free to drop your number in the chat. I have the link to the Airlift program. And if anybody doesn't necessarily know Bob and you know how to find me, please, by all means, feel free to get in touch with me and I will be happy to direct you to Bob. Bob, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Asante sana. Asante sana. Thank you all, guys. You have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Take
All
care.
right,
Bye,
bye.
everybody. Bye.
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 Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome. Take care, everybody.
Bye,
right.
Jackie.
Bye. Take care.
Bye, Bob.
Bye bye. And you send us the number for David.
I will. Or hit me up and I'll send it back to you.
Oh, right away. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstake America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.